Hello, it is Tuesday going into Wednesday, so I find myself pointing a camera at myself once again. And we're on to V's. V's is V. V is the letter. Oh, I forgot to think of a pun. V will be having a lot of fun today with V's. Yeah. And, we're actually getting at the end of this thing, because it's V, W, X, Y, and Z. We're four left. I've done this for a year now, if you can believe it. And look at this. It's a new camera and it's a new day. And I haven't... Oh, geez. Yes. Once again, the two that I listened to, I promise, but I didn't read the liner notes. I mean, I know how many of you care about that. I know how many you're watching my videos, too. One person besides me, I think. Anyways, here it is. So this is V, starting with, as you know, I do the thing. What am I talking about? I do the other letters that are not V's, and I put them at the beginning. If they are W's, and I listen to a number of W's in the last couple weeks, then I put them after V's. So we don't go to the W's yet, but we do go to these other letters, starting with Beck, Mellow Gold, the promo version. I think I showed off a version that had MTV. But this is a version that doesn't have MTV, and I think the only reason I bought it is because the lettering is blue. I have it in the old section, and it's the black version, or the lettering is black. That's the only thing. Maybe I should start with DJ Shadow. No. Yes, no. Actually, we'll go next to Daft Punk Alive, the, what is it? Indonesian version, so very sort of unofficially type thing, but where else can you get a 2007 album, really? Those are hard to come by. 2007 albums, I maybe have like a handful of them. This is DJ Shadow's latest. As you can see, it's like in a, made to look like a video cassette. It says do not rewind inside there. Be kind, please rewind rather. I mean, if it said do not rewind, maybe people would probably have rewound more. Because, be telling them not to do something, and they would say, hey, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to do what I want, and they'd rewind the tape. That's called reverse psychology. I have at least a couple of friends where I really should have used reverse psychology because they really just like doing the opposite. Now I have one friend. He's not my friend anymore, by the way. Anyway, clearly I've moved on. And this is the Falcom game music. I thought it was Famicom. I thought it was like in the States that this was Famicom, but whatever. And they spell it differently here, Falcom, from Japan. Excellent. You put it on, it's beautiful, and it's like, well, it's 8-bit, so it sounds so pure, even on a tape. Just really nice, pure tones. This is the Kraftwerk's Autobahn from Canada, this version. They're from Germany, of course, I know that. But that one, Rishu is from Canada. Oops. The thing about these Japanese tapes, you have to be careful. You don't want to, because they for some reason, want to put like a piece of paper floating right there. I don't know why they do it, but you have to be careful with that. So, what else? J Mascis' new one? Mascis's Skate or Die. Okay, now this is the Nintendo version of this, and it was pretty good, but honestly, this is a wuss version compared to the best version, which is the Commodore 64, which, I don't know, the SID chip in the Commodore 64 uses a square wave to do this, so it sounds like a distorted guitar, and the Nintendo version doesn't have any of that, and so they just kind of have this... So, I thought it in 1880, I'm going to date myself, 5 probably. Maybe it was 86, actually. No, 87. It was still it was 87. Yeah, and it was I thought it kicked ass, even better than Def Leppard's Hysteria at the time. And so here's my Pathetic Geek story. I well, I was a big Skate or Die fan on the computer. And I don't think my mom would even like buy me a skateboard. She didn't want me to have a skateboard. She thought I'd get hurt. Maybe I would have. But anyway, at the church confirmation class party, they asked us to bring a piece of music to dance to. And if you've heard Skate or Die, I've told this Pathetic Geek story a number of times. Well, I thought Skate or Die was the kick-assest thing I'd ever heard. So I held up my little tape recorder up to the computer, and I recorded the entire theme song off Skate or Die. And I came to the confirmation class thinking like, oh yeah, everybody's going to dance to this. Now this video game music is going to just... And like, of course, you know, they played like Michael Jackson and the Madonna and then whatever. And I'm like, okay. I put in my tape, and everybody just kind of stared at the ground, and nobody danced, of course. And I just felt like stupid. But it still kicked a lot more ass. Even if like they just internally imagined themselves dancing, I'm not sure they did. I don't know. It didn't dull my love of that theme song, and the way it was on the... If it had been the Nintendo version, I wouldn't have brought it. Anyway, here's... I'm going to skip my CD single layer. I'm not going to say much about that because it only has like 2 Ministry songs from 1988, I think, which are not Stigmata. No, 90. And the one where he's like yelling, "Who could care less?" And it's an embarrassment to listen to those songs now. It's just embarrassing. It just... How could you... Anyway, Normal is not embarrassing. This is great. This series from Germany is like... so this one has Ghost Riders on it. Or Ghost... Yeah. I don't know how they know about any of these things, but... You will hear... If you get this series, you will hear something that totally kicks ass. Promise. I'm going to try to like listen to a little bit more every week of that. That's number 5. I still got a few left. And of course, in the old section, I have like all the other half of them. Or just about, anyway. Ty Seagal's new one, I heard it tonight. It was good. Sloan Smeared. This guy doesn't know how to package tapes who sold it. I mean, Sloan's great, but this guy totally can't package a tape. So he packaged like the EBS seller packaged all around the tape here. But he left this side exposed, so the case cracked. So I complained, and he told me it was insured. And it was like, but he said he didn't accept returns at the same time. So he's talking about both sides of his mouth. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I just need a new case for that one. Pygmalion by Slow Dive. How many years have I looked for this? At least 5. And it finally came up again, and I bought it. It was expensive. But happy to have it. It was great. It was the last Slow Dive tape that I needed for my collection. I have a lot of other... Well, there are other things that I might still get. Soundgarden promo version of Bad Motorfinger. I always like the look of this. This is only $25. And then here was the other video game soundtrack I got. The T&E software or something. Again, it was really good. Various Artists was what I'm sorry, what album, what label is the V? I forget. It was Island. Oh, Virgin, of course. Oh yeah. I was like, looks like Island, but Island and Virgin had the same kind of look in the 70s. That one's good though. It's got like a bit of Syd Barrett, some other like-minded thing. I think there's some Soft Machine on there too, but it's the Various Artists from Virgin in the 70s there. Vacation is a local band from Madison, and I bought it because it was like $2, and the guy at the counter was like, "Oh, tell me what it's like, because I produced this album." And honestly, I listened to it the other day, and I don't remember a darn thing about it now. So I guess it was really good because, you know, isn't that in Japan the highest form of respect is when you can't remember what just happened? It was like blew your mind so much. No, I think it's actually silence, but you know, whatever. same thing. We're into V's now, by the way. Valentine is another of the Teen Beat ones. I don't have to pull it out or anything. Van der Graaf Generator, whatever. Okay, this Vangelis was pretty good. I like Vangelis. I particularly like Cosmos by Vangelis, if you ever saw the original Carl Sagan. There's some really good music in there. What else we got? Another Vangelis. What was that one? I can't read it. Portraits. Oh, okay. The Vaselines. I already had this, but I just got another one, and I think it must have been bored or something. And then all the stuff and more. The only other Vaselines thing, besides their somewhat new one, their reissue or the reunion one. Both these were worth having, I guess. I don't know. It's good to have them. The Velvet Monkeys. So this is a rare one here if you like that band. This is like from '82. And it's like a demo of the Velvet Monkeys. It just sort of talks about them a little bit. And they're fine, whatever. They're not, didn't change my life, but they're good. Everything is right. I've got a different version of this. I don't quite know why, but for some reason this and the other one are extremely expensive, and I couldn't figure out why. Because I mean, is that a band that everybody knows or something, or is it the Smiths or something? No. Is it the Velvet Underground? No. This is a Verve version of White Heat White Light. I think it's from Britain because it looks British a bit. I think it's from '82. So rather, they reissued it. And here you go. How about this? Let me put my fingerprints over this thing, right? The less you touch this, the better. This is an Ampeg version, 1970s of their third album, In Fine Shape. I also have White Heat White Light version, that one, and both of them just say the Velvet Underground on them. I've got a version of this too, which just has a different colored tape. I believe it's I believe it got this is the blue, and oh, I have the black one, white one probably. I don't know. This one was great. Once Upon a Time from Germany, because it's got a bunch of Nico and just weird stuff. It's got Chelsea Girl. I mean, some interesting idea for a collection there. And then look at the cover. It's, what is going on with that? Do you think of the Velvet Underground when you see a big lobster like that? I really don't. Pop Giants is also a cool one. Another Velvet Underground, but what does this have on it? You know what? It's like the same thing. It's got Eulogy to Lenny Bruce and just some Wrap Your Troubles in Dreams, which is, I think, I don't know, pre-Velvet Underground or some other, whatever. I don't remember. A weird copy of Another View and a weird copy of The Best Of. This here is the Velvet Underground Appreciation Society. I've always appreciated these tapes. And I've got many of them in the other collection. I have very few in this because I didn't need them. They tend to be kind of expensive sometimes. There's somebody who's been trying to sell the Lamonte Young pieces, which kind of more focuses on the John Cage side of things before he was in the group. Or Lamonte Young, I mean, so it's not just the Velvet Underground, but kind of their universe in a way. Their expanded solar system of music, such as Lamonte Young. But he's trying to sell those tapes for $300 a piece. Nico at CBGB's in '79. I watched a documentary on Nico within last year. I think when I was running the ends, actually, I might have talked about it. Blank miscellaneous rarities, and that sort of all sorts of things. I don't know who did the Velvet Underground Appreciation Society tapes originally, but they were from the 90s, I believe. I would imagine they're from New York or Boston or somewhere that there might have been a super fan that kind of got way into the whole thing. Unfortunately, at the time, in the 90s, there was a time when I wouldn't have really wanted this because it was all on these kind of dub tapes, and I had mixed feelings about collecting tapes that were just kind of dub tapes or bootlegs at one time. It's hard to imagine that now, but those were the crazy 90s. This is the promo version of the 93 show when they reunioned in Paris and elsewhere. I mean, I didn't have the kind of finances to be able to get out and see him. I did see Mo Tucker, though, live, and Sterling Morrison was in the band in 95. And I had her sign my practice pad in Sterling, and she was like, why don't you have the drummers sign? And because like Victor De Lorenzo of the Violent Femmes was in the group. And I said, well, because I wanted to get Lou Reed and John Cale. I wanted the Velvet Underground. And she did it, but I was like lurking and creeping, and I don't think she liked me. I mean, I don't know. I was... Versus is a good band. I didn't really know, but they're another teen beat band, but it's kind of like established teen beat. I don't remember, 96, I think. But it looks like a real tape now. So that was a big step for them, I'm sure. For Mark. Veruca Salt sampler, Verve Northern Soul sampler, Verve No Come Down sampler. I like these three, the Verve pipe. They're just kind of weird. They're a weird band, but I do like their one MTV hit song because it's got heavy guitars, but it's also in like it's got some. I suppose you call them jazz chords, but like major sevenths, things like that. The Violent Femmes. Now, of course, this is like the You and Your Best album from this one here. I think this is the British version, but this is the You and Your Best Friend from High School album. Oh, you're going to like walk through the hall singing all the songs. And in fact, that's what me and Chris did. My best friend in high school. This is a copy of 3. This is the 3 promo. And in fact, I just got the Why Do Birds Sing promo for this occasion, but Stiller hasn't even gotten around to sending it yet. So I'll have to cover that in the next video on W's next week, or 2 weeks from now. New Times, assuming he sends it. I don't know. It's been a week. New Times promo, and finally, I guess, Vomit Launch, another Teen Beat one. It's weird how a bunch of Teen Beats showed up under V's. Valentine and Versus, and now Vomit Launch. And all pretty good bands. All right, that's V's. Nice hanging out with all y'all. You know, maybe someday somebody might see these tapes. Like I actually brought up because I had a birthday party the other day, and I brought up the idea that I really wanted to make sure I don't have to smash all these tapes with a hammer someday. But that seems like the destination still. Because for all the people that want to talk to me about this collection, no, there's nobody who wants to talk to me. I want to talk to them about the collection. And when I talk to them, they're like, oh, I'm sure you can find something. I'm sure you can find a seller, or, you know, just give it to a seller who would just really appreciate it and be able to, you know, make lots of money off your life's work. You know, they don't care about you at all. No, just kidding. They don't say that. They think I can somehow get it into a library. Can I? Well, I really like to. I really hope I can. Because otherwise, you know, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. It's a threat. So you should take it as such. My life's work will be smashed to bits. The only thing will be left are these videos and a few pictures. Well, actually, I'm going to make a whole new series of video. Actually, new series of pictures first. So it'll exist in the virtual realm regardless, but I don't know. What if I could find somebody who would be interested in having it be in a library someday? Okay, well, that's that. New camera and new phone. Next week is what? W's. And I think I'll just say if there are twins out there, I think the pun was going to be W are going to enjoy that video very much. So I'll be sure to say that. All right, bye.